had a good time, I guess. I don't know. And then I was get ashamed in the morning, yeah, and when I hide it, I don't know. Uh, it's good to get it out. How we feel about things, you know. Nobody likes to feel like a slave, and I know what it's like to be black to some degree, to some great degree. But I don't really like using that word, and I don't know. I don't really like being hateful towards people, even if maybe it's justified. It all comes back to, you know, that's how I feel at the moment, you know, based upon trauma I've lived through. So, um, let's see. I want to talk about start out with a few crazy things that happened in that bus too. I mean, I have all documented and stuff somewhere, but one of the crazy things that happened. I mean, there's so many synchronicities that happen around me that I was thinking about the bus and how the taillights are red and the number red's 3. And then, and so when taillights are on, that's 33, right? And I get out of the bus one day and the taillights are on. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I go inside and look, and there's a short under the steering wheel. And I see that where the brake lines are hooked up, like all these mechanics worked on this bus, right? All these professionals and stuff. And one of the brake lines, one of the brake electrical connectors, was literally broken and taped to another one that wasn't connected to anything, and then taped to another one that was like this long, and then taped to another one that was this long. It was taped to another one, this long. And so the brakes were broken upon broken upon broken. They were breaking, breaker, breaker, breaker. And that was pretty weird. And so it killed my bus battery, and I had sleep in the cold air a little while. And let's see. So, right as after I'm waking up, March 13th, spent like a week or so just fried out of my mind, just trying to catch up and getting all these weird downloads about aliens and the mothership. And yeah, this is my other shit. And I keep my other shit in my other ship. I don't know. It's about the Anunnaki and all this other stuff. Just wild stuff. And so then I'm like, well, I need to get out of here. I need a different job. And now that I got a new apartment, um, I got this offer at this at this factory that um, is kind of government subsidied, and um, they make parachutes and hazmat suits and gas masks. I can't remember if they make anything else. You know, I'm led along this whole way. You know, my whole life it seems, and it just gets clearer and clearer and clearer and scarier and scarier and scarier, not knowing who's on my side and who's not on my side and who's in control and well, where this is all leading to, who's my enemy, who's my friend. It's like everybody's just wearing a mask in front of me everywhere I go on the screens. You know, everybody's fucking with me, but you know, there's never anybody around, and anybody that's around, there's something uh, suspicious about them and peculiar, and either they just make sure that like they're never there, like the Patels were, like, and I'm taking care of everything, but they can't even like take care of one thing that they tell me, but I'm making them all the money and babysitting their baby, and then And then as soon as they get a chance, then they start fucking me and cutting me down to nothing, um, which is kind of weird, kind of like what's happening here at this hotel. We'll see how that turns out. Um, you know, and so I'm always just riding on a cloud of what? I don't know, a visible bridge. But so April 1st, like, I'm sitting in the bus Friday, pretty much all of February and coming into March. I mean, and wondering, like, I'm always just asking, like, God, what do you want me to do? Well, should I get a job? Should I stay here? Is somebody going to ever pick me up? Like, I mean, I know that I'm here for a purpose and a reason, but it's just like I'm surrounded by spirits and entities, and all the people are possessed and paid off or manipulating shit in the background and getting all these gains, and I never have anywhere to go. And then then somebody just pops up like an angel and saves me, but then I end up in another fucking dumpster fire. And it's just like, fuck, is this life ever gonna take off, So I get a job at this factory where I'm making good money. It's like $17 an hour to sit and do nothing. I mean, more or less. And I guess it was a period for me to get my head back on my shoulders in some way. Because the weird thing about this job was you could use your phone while you're at work, which in some ways is a real setback for most people. Because most people, whether they can use it, even if they can't use their phone at work, they overuse their phone at work. If they can use their phone at work, man, it's hard to get them to do their job. And I don't really like using my phone. I'd rather be working on my own thing, but I don't know exactly what that is yet. I mean, there's a lot of directions and stuff, and no direction at all, but I'm here for a reason. And so at this factory, I start off gluing together suits for hazmat suits. And so then, like, you'd have like a hood piece or a neck piece or whatever, and then you have these strips, and you're just sitting there, and you put the strip on it, and then you press a pedal, and then the head comes down and heats it for like, I don't know, 5 to 15 seconds, and then uh, it lets off, and then you move it over, and then you do the next one and the next one. And so, like, you could have your phone right there, and listen to your music or audiobooks, or be watching a video on Mithras or whatever the hell. So I spent an entire year just like rehashing and relearning and re-looking at everything that I'd ever known in my life, uh, to that to figure out what the fuck happened to me. Where's all this stuff going? Why is everything connected? But it's all pointing at me. But it's about me, but it's not about me, but it is about me. And there's something fishy going on here. And what am I supposed to do about it? And um, and then off and on, I'm like, and we had 3-day weekends, usually. And so then I'd have weekends where I could go dive back in the pit and then come back during the week. Or even if I came in a little bit fucked up, like, it's a job where you could do that in a sense, as long as you get your shit done. And so, looking back, I'm really grateful to have that experience. And it was really tricky. And then whenever I get messed up, the weather changed, and then they'd say nobody go to work, so the town would flood, or there'd be 80-mile-an-hour windstorm, and bust all the trees in the entire town, or it'd be a cold snap, and it'd go 20 below, and I'm like, man, this is weird. I knew they were controlling the weather, but then now it's like, oh, it's on me, or I'm doing it, It's like, what the fuck? This is weird, Well, why are they doing this? Or what's the purpose behind this? And and being on the Crocs, the cross, the Crocs, of the whole experience, and never knowing what I could do, where I was going to belong, and um, later on that year, well, so then a few different things happened. Let's see. One of the first things that happened that was strange was around the 4th of July. All of a sudden, just out of the blue, I had a fucking, it felt like I had a spear in my side. If that, that's kind of like a Jesus thing, right? And this pain was so sharp, and it had me on my hands and knees, and I couldn't hardly move. And then I had to go to the emergency room in the middle of the night, and then that cost me a bunch of money. They basically didn't do nothing for me. They gave me like 4 days of pain pills. Well, not even 4 days. They gave me like 4 pain pills. Maybe it was 6. And so I could sleep. But that only lasted for like 2 days, because you take one pill every 6, 8 hours. So it lasted like 2 days. And then I come into the doctor's office, right, on this Thursday or Friday. And the doctor that comes in, this lady, Dr. Jennings in Madison, she comes in, and I tell her what's going on, and all of a sudden she just like fucking the demon comes out of her right there in the office, telling me, oh, you're drug sick and all that stuff. I'm like, I'm in serious fucking pain. I don't give a fuck about drugs. I want to be able to sleep. I don't know what's wrong with me, but no, I don't give a fuck about that. And she basically just kicks me out the door and treats me with complete and total utter disrespect, which should have made her lose her license. Like that kind of treatment, she shouldn't have a job after one time of it being like that. And as I'm leaving the room, she's screaming at me as I'm walking down the hallway, talking about my information and shit, breaking every code of conduct in the book, trying to make me look like shit, make me feel like shit. This happens a lot. And then those people get to keep their jobs when she should be working at McDonald's. So that was 4th of July in 2019. Then all of a sudden, this other weird thing happens. My mom calls me up, and she's like, um, "Hey, Josh, guess who called?" I don't. How the fuck should I know? I don't know. Yeah. And so, no, guess. I don't know. Fucking George Washington. I don't know. Fucking Jesus Christ. Abe Lincoln. I don't know. Grandma from heaven. Like, I don't know. Tell me. Your dad. That's weird. Is this another heaven joke? And she's like, yeah, he wants to meet you. I'm like, okay. Took him fucking long enough. I had to die and go to heaven and come back before he even meet me. I mean, for what it's worth, that's fucking weird. I've only been here 36 years on this earth, and now he wants to know me suddenly. Well, okay. So I talked to him on the phone. He's all laid back and seems like a cool guy. So I drive, and he lives in Nevada. It's spelled Nevada, but it's Nevada. It's this little fucking 6-block town, basically. Or maybe it's a little bit bigger than that, but it's pretty fucking small. Just outside of Des Moines, Iowa. I think it is. So I set up a meeting. Well, actually, right before that, this other weird shit happens. So I've been staying away from people other than going to work and doing my God's homework. Finish up God's homework is what I was calling it, on my own, every single day, up until that point, doing I don't know, just trying to figure things out. Like, I have pages and pages and pages of words and phrases that end up as palindromic numbers. I'd get messed up, and then I'd just sit there and text, and be like, in a word program that would add up the values. I'm like, okay, that one's 141. Oh, this one's 212. Oh, this one's, not knowing what any of this, I don't know, I just became obsessed with that. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, since 313. And, and so I got a book full of palindromic number words and phrases from the very beginning. And um, and then every time I get messed up or whatever, I'd be like, I wonder what date it is. I wonder how many days it's been since I awoke. How many days since my birthday last? How many days since I was born? How many, days till my next birthday? How many days till Christmas? How many days till my mom's birthday? Um, who's what famous people have the same birthdays as me or anybody in my family, or and just charting a course and finding that everyone has that there's like a solar system around me. Like me and my brother, Will and Tim McGraw apparently had the same birthday, and there's pretty much the only three. Oh, and I've met three people in my life that had the same birthday, and they were all girls. Danelle Cooper, and a girl I think her name was Stephanie, and another one, but I don't know. So, and then finding my mom and Pope Francis have the same birthday, and my sister and Dua Lipa, but nobody that I know of has a birthday that lines up with. Oh, and the Grand Master of the Rosicrucians is the same as my first wife, and and then I'm finding that, and so I started creating a chart that shows everybody's birthday that I know. Like it's got Justin Bieber's birthday, it's got all the original women I was really interested in that are stars. I mean, obviously Taylor, Jillian Banks, Selena Gomez, Dua Lipa, and a few others. But those were the original four that, like, something told me, there's something about those four girls. And I'm looking for my divine partner and all this stuff, based upon working on heaven's computer. I don't know, programming the universe. I'm trying to find all these coincidences, or trying to plot a course and see how everything works out. So, I right after my mom tells me that I'm going to meet my dad, I'm like, okay, I'm in trouble with my car, and there's something wrong with one of the spark plugs, and I guess somebody broke one off in there or whatever, or I don't remember. There's something up with the spark plug, but the car still ran, but it was misfiring. So I'm standing outside and trying to get the spark plugs out, and a neighbor is having a party. He's always having these parties in his garage, and all these people over or whatever, but I don't pay anybody any fucking mind. I just want to be left alone. He comes over and he's like, hey, how's it going, neighbor? What you up to? And I said, I'm going with my dad for the first time. I can't get this car up and running so that I can get there, so I don't break down on the way. He said, oh, my uncle, he lives with me, he's a mechanic, whatever. Hey, so and so, come up, let's go with this car. He's like, my name's Dave, and today's my 33rd birthday, and you seem like a cool guy. Here, let's get your car worked on, and you can come over and we can hang out. You seem real awesome or whatever. So then I come over and I'm all like keeping everything to myself, and then he's all trying to get me open up and here, have a beer, this and that, and I'm like, what I really could use is I normally smoke every day. It keeps me calm, but I don't know anybody to get some from. And he's like, oh, I know somebody. I got just the guy. Let me call him up. And then send somebody that is a part of the story all the way through. Um, he shows up and gives me some pot, and Dave's like, here, I'll pay for it. Fuck it. It's all good. Uh, here, you want to go get me a case of beer or whatever? And because I can't drive right now because I've been drinking too much. I said, sure, you know. And that was before his guy showed up. So we're sitting around. When I get back, we're all drinking. And, everybody's having a great time and trying to get information out of me. And then all of a sudden, Dave's really drunk later in the night. And he just like starts to embrace me and act like he's in love with me. Like he's just like holding my arm and he won't let it go. And he's pulling me close and just like, man, you're just so awesome. You're the best. Like, man, you're like my long lost brother. Um, oh, you're just so amazing. And, like, oh, I didn't ever want to let you go. Kind of like, I'm like, okay, okay. Should I have my fucking arm back? Like, shit. Yeah, oh, shit. I'm sorry. And I sit back and one of the girls is like, so, you know, what, why are you so quiet? Like, what happened to you? I said, well, I got trapped in this converted bus, right? And I don't know, it has something to do with God. And then immediately, as soon as I said that word, fucking Dave just fucking the demon, the fucking Satan came right out, and he just like standing right over me, like breathing down on top of me. I couldn't even fucking move. And he's like, don't you ever fucking talk about God, I'll fucking kill you. Like, I'm like, holy fuck. Another motherfucker. What the fuck is wrong with all these people? Like, just a minute ago, he was ready to suck my dick. And now he's gonna rip my head off for saying a word. They don't even know what I was gonna say about it. See? Fuck. This is terrible. So I grab my stuff. And I'm just like, I'm gonna go home. I'm getting out of here. And he's like, yeah, you better, and you better come back tomorrow with that. It was something about the beer or whatever. Pay me back for that beer or some shit. I don't know. And then I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go around there anymore. Which I had a lot of problems with him. And that's probably gonna be part of the story about COVID. So then eventually next week I go to meet my dad, right? And his name's Victor. And all I know about him is born on October 11th, 1960. And his name is Victor Robert Harvey. That's it. So I would have been Joshua Harvey. But originally Robert started with the letter H. And there's versions of the name Joshua that starts with the letter H. So I'm Triple H. I guess I'm H. That's my letter, I guess. I don't know. I'm the latter. So anyway, um, so yeah, so the Robert originally was Herodibert, which means the famed one, because it ties back to Ra in Egypt. And well, so I go to meet him. He seems like a cool dude. He's living in the basement of his sister's home, but I don't think she's really his sister. They grew up in an orphanage or some shit together. And she's all in a secret society. And her husband works for the post office, I think. Maybe he's a mechanic. Their best friend is maybe the post office guy. But so then, we get there. They work on my car, and we just chat. And they got some old car they were storing, and it's sweet, you know. He's obsessed with Corvettes. He's got a Corvette, but it's kind of it's worn in, you know. That's his baby, and he doesn't talk a whole lot about nothing. And then the other thing I knew about him is supposedly he has another son that's like a year or less older than me. That like he got one like chick pregnant, it ran away and immediately got another chick pregnant, then it ran away, and then immediately got another chick pregnant, and it ran away. All in like a 2 year span. Like me and my sister Tasha, we're less than 9 months apart. We're like 7 to 8 months apart. And so he supposedly had this other son named Victor. He shows me pictures of Victor, and he's like, yeah, you know, he comes and visits me about every 5 years, and then, you know, I take him out, we have a great time, and this and that, and, you know, there's all these pictures of them, like, drinking together, and smoking together, whatever, just having a great old time, like father and son, you know, cut from the same cloth and stuff, and then you go back to Georgia, where his mom's from, whatever. Well, so then I'm there a few days, and I don't know, I can't really remember much else about the situation. But then I get ready to leave, and he gives me like $60 for gas. He hands me some stuff that he got for Victor. Like, all the things he gives me is used and has nothing to do with me. He gives me a book called The Girl with the Golden Tattoo, and he gives me 2 drones, a large drone, shaped kind of like a Death Star. These drones are round, and then the propellers are on the inside, so they can bounce off of things and whatever, and not get fucked up. And then there's a little one, but the big one is once I get it home is missing parts so that I can't use it. And then the little one, it's really kind of hard to control, but you know, I messed with it a little bit. The cats liked it, so that you know. And eventually, I gave it to a girl on her birthday. That's part of the story later on too. So he gives me some junk. On my way home, I stop at Barnes and Noble, and some people are like looking at some books around me and about symbolism and stuff. And the weird thing is, one of them like asked me a question. I'm like, that has to do with dream interpretation or something like that. I'm like, oh yeah. And it had to do with snakes. And so then I tell them what I know about, because I'm a natural psychoanalyst. Because I've been to school for psychology and things like this. But I just naturally know things. I don't know. So then I picked up my first Oracle deck, the Angels and Ancestors deck. That was the first deck I ever bought. Though I was given 2 tarot decks that I hadn't even used yet, and probably didn't even use for another year to 2 years after that, because I didn't know what to do with them. Someone told me, you know, I had to go in this direction for whatever reason. I didn't know. Eventually, and I hadn't been looking at space and the stars yet, other than my zodiac sign and placements, and then the placements of each person's birthday that I knew, not by like the minute or the day or you know, like I have been now for a couple years. So I get home. It's like the very next day. My mom and him, over the next week or whatever, I guess my mom and my dad have been talking on the phone, and all of a sudden they get in a fight or some shit, and they don't talk anymore, you know. And then all of a sudden, find out, oh, yeah, Victor, that's not his son. She's been lying to him his whole life. To both of them. And using Vic, my dad, for child support. And then he's been spending all this time piling it up with a stranger. While his real son, his only son, is out here abandoned, carrying the world by himself. If that ain't fucking karma. I see two Vicks. Oh, but one was false. I see me and my brother, we have the same birthday, Josh and Jay. Oh, and then there's two, like all these twos, these parallels, but it's not like doing things two times, which that's something about how the system is set up. That's why I'm back in the hotel again, and Trump's term again, and but that has to do with some other shit. Cause yeah, two times, no, that's not. That means people have been listening in and trying to get in on my destiny and shit, and they're locked in a system of their own making. So, so then I'm like, that's weird, and haven't talked to him since. Well, then I'm wanting to go home and see my mother. I don't have a way to go home and see my mother because I don't have the money to go, and I start hanging out on occasion with this girl, this woman, who is the sweetest, nicest person ever, but doesn't talk to anybody. But with me, she's just, we're good. Like, and she's a single mother, and she lives on some property across from her ex. Like, he lives in the house. It's on a farm property, so she and her daughter have one little house, and then, like the guest house, and then he has the main house. And because she has horses and stuff like that, and she's like the nicest ever. She's been saving all this money, I guess, because she had this dream of going to Israel. Well, I didn't know about that, I guess. So, catching up. So, one night, I fucking break down crying. And I wake up, and immediately she calls me. I'm like, hi, what's up? And she tells me that she wants to come over and give me something right then. It's like 1 in the morning. I'm like, that's weird. This is a super nice Christian girl. Like, but she doesn't have anything to do with religion, like with churches. She says that she feels like there's something wrong with them all. So she just is about God by herself, like I've been, whatever, for what it's worth. And she comes over 1 o'clock in the morning, sits down next to me in my room, and I tell her, like, I just want to go home and see my family. I don't know what I'm doing or where I belong, obviously, and it's all in God's hands, but fuck, God's not, takes care of me, but not really. And it seems like I'm being guided somewhere, but not really. I'm having to carry all the weight, but I don't really get any compensation for it. And she pulls out this envelope and hands it to me, and it's full of like $2,000 worth of 20s. And I'm like, I open it up, I'm like, it looks like she robbed a fucking bank. I'm just like, this looks like a lot of fucking money. What's this for? She can go home? I can't take this from you. And she's like, yeah, God told me that it belongs to you. This is your money. I've been saving it for you. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. So I've been wanting to go to Israel, and I've been saving for like 5 years. But God told me to save 2 stacks. 1 stack for me, 1 stack for somebody else that I'm supposed to give it to help somebody out. I'm like, what? No way. I'm like, well, and she didn't tell me about Israel. After she gave me the money, I'm like, well, anybody that takes care and does good things for me always gets blessed. And anybody who fucks me over always gets, there's, something really bad happens to them right after. As soon as they screw me over, then bad things happen to them. And this is really good. This is so nice of you. So, what's yours like? Do you have like an amazing dream, or something that you wish would happen? Because I just know that this kind of generosity, this is how I am, and that whatever it is, you'll get it. It'll work out for her. She's like, I always wanted to go to Israel, and I'm like, I bet you it'll happen. pretty quickly. She's like, well, I almost have enough money to pay for myself. I'm like, yeah, well, I'd hold on to that money. So she leaves, and I take that money. I take part of it, since I didn't need all of it to go. Bought myself some new shoes. I went to a massage parlor and got a full body massage because my car accident or whatever. That I'm pains from that. And I bought myself some clothes. I like clothes from the buckle. I don't know why. I just do. I mean, and yeah, some like I can't even think of the name right now. American something, not American Eagle, but American. I don't know. I get myself a hat. I'm not really for hats, but and then I get some work done on my car and I'm prepared to go see my family. Then I drive all the way down here to where I'm at now. It's like 800 miles, something like that. I get here and I'm blown away right away. I'm like, it doesn't look like they were expecting me to come. Like they don't have anything set up for me. It's like they didn't put a single thought into, hey, we haven't seen Josh in 4 years. Like they don't have like it didn't seem like a gift for me or whatever. I don't know, it's just weird. And then the town looks like it's like gone downhill a lot. And then the first person I was like, who did I know who used to live here before? I'm like, oh, where's the guys from the tire store? And find out all of them are gone. Like not one of them really still left in town. And I'm like, oh, I know somebody, Johnny Meyer. I'm gonna go see Johnny Meyer. Well, I drive over to his house, and bam, there it is again. I'm like, no shit, Johnny Meyer lived at 313 Center Street? That's fucking weird, and that's the first person I thought of. And I find out he died. Like, that's sad. He was an entertaining guy. I had drinks with him a few times, and he's kind of an alcoholic, and whatever, everybody's got their own problems. And then I had a couple of little pistols. Me and my brother went out and shot, 22s, and I don't know, I guess my mom gave me some money when I got ready to leave. Can't remember, it was like $1,000 or something. And I showed her some of the stuff that I'd gathered because I had a huge mural I made on my wall of symbolism, which I don't know who they is, but some secret society people or whatever, while I was working, called me up and was like, hey, I need to show your apartment to some people. Because the user is the one that's available or whatever. Yeah, they came in and they took pictures of my shit. And so then I've been being stalked and set up a really long time. For what purpose? I don't know, because I haven't really profited off of it. I've just been kept hanging, barely alive this whole time. What was that, 5 years ago, right? And then it comes around to, like, I get back in, like, the first week of the year, I run into Bobby Joe, and she's like, hey, guess what? And I'm like, you're going to Israel? Yeah, but my parents paid for the entire ride, and I'm leaving next week. And I'm like, that's fucking amazing. See, I told you. All you gotta do is believe and being generous. That's the way to be. And I was like, man, you're so cool. And I'm glad this is working out for her. She goes to Israel. He comes back, and I was collecting flags, sort of, and um, she brings me a flag of Israel from Israel, and a little dish that's been painted, hand painted, and made from Jerusalem, and something else, I think. Mainly those couple things, which I still have the flag, but it's I don't even know if I've taken it out of the package because I didn't know about that. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, that's cool. There's some kind of tie there, but I don't want, you know, that flag hanging up in my house because I don't really know what it's about. And I kind of wanted to flag the Vatican just because there's some kind of tie there. And then I have a rebel flag that somebody gave me, the Confederate flag. And then I have an American flag that was given to me when I was 7 years old because I asked my grandfather, uh, my stepdad's dad, who is the only grandfather I've known, and he's amazing, supposed war hero, and been Black Ops and Vietnam, and been Portugal, lived in Portugal, lived in Japan and whatever, and in a way, and he's even came and visited me in spirit and told me about things since his passing. And he was the first person that started to, all the stuff that weird things that he told to me or whatever while I was working at Raven, was the name of that factory, um, all of a sudden started making sense. He was one of the first ancestor that came and visited me. And he came and visited me not this last Christmas, but the Christmas before too. And in spirit. Well, so I have this, my American flag is from when I was 7 years old. I asked him, I was like, I don't want to, I think I was 7 anyway. I was like, in the 4th of July parade, I don't want to sit in the float and throw candy. I'm not a baby. I want to carry the American flag. So I got to lead the parade, carry the American flag in the Hot Springs 4th of July parade, and you got to keep that flag. I've had it to this day. For a while, it's hanging up in the house, but then, I have all the stuff stored away right now. It's part of my journey. Where's it all lead and where's it all go? Why do I get to lead everybody, but I don't know where I'm going? But everyone else is better off, and they're just screwing around. It seems like not going anywhere, but they can do no wrong, and even if I do everything right, then I could, I keep getting cut off. Well, I guess I'm coming to a good stopping point. I gotta go move some stuff. Um, so then in February, all of a sudden, like spirits, like since Pee Wee, his middle name was Phoenix, Kerwin Phoenix Dotha was his name. I'm like, I gotta replace my dad's name. My middle name's my dad's name. So what's my middle name? So I started trying to figure out what my middle name would be for spirit to tell me, and what it would add up to since uh, my initials add up to 51. Born on 5/1, and then my name adds up to 238. But there's 238 days between May Day and Christmas, and then before all this tied back around to Jesus somehow several, later, because I wasn't stuck on that. I wasn't stuck on that. Well, um, so then the middle name it chose, I think it makes my name add up to 212 or whatever. So it's my 212 phase was Kilas, Kilas. Like, oh, kill us. No, kill last. Uh, um, the key's been lost, or uh, you know, let's kill his ass. Like, it's a bent version of all those things. And it's an Indian name, I found out, but Spirit just picked it out. So that's weird that it was tied back to India or whatever. And then all of a sudden, on February 17th, which is just passed, um, I'm told by my angel, that's what I call him, my angel, um, I need to leave work. I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing, but I need time and space. I need to go under again and really fucking finish out whatever this war is. Get to the bottom of this shit. So, and my neck is killing me because they have me working in this glove box where you gotta stick your hands in and you're just grinding on masks because the rubber gas masks won't glue to the neck of the hazmat suit unless you grind it down so it's rough first. And so I'm just like working this glove box all day. It's killing my neck and stuff. And all of a sudden, God, my angel, just tells me, you gotta leave work right now. You're just walking out. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, here we go. So I go to the office. I go to my boss and tell him, I'm sorry, but I quit. So what are you gonna do? Move back in the bus? Like, what the fuck? What's your plan? I said, I don't know. The angel told me. And I trust God. Ain't nobody else taking care of me. He's the only one that seems to know shit. So then I leave work on 2/17/2020. And that's where I'll pick up part 5 of this later. So I'll see you later.